Get out. Those were the first words he said to me. Not hello. Not please. Not even my name. Just, get out. I was standing 3 feet away from my twin sister at the altar of St. Matthew's Church in Dallas, Texas. The organ music had just stopped. The guests were smiling. The flowers smelled sweet. Cameras were flashing. And then my sister's groom, Jason Miller, turned to me with a tight smile and said into the microphone, "You're not welcome here, Emily. Please leave. Now." The entire church went silent. I felt every eye in the room land on me like sharp needles. My twin sister, Olivia, didn't say a word. She just stared at her bouquet. My heart started pounding so loud, I thought the microphone would pick it up. I'm her sister," I whispered. Jason leaned closer, still smiling for the guests. "She made her choice," he said softly, but the mic caught it. "You're not part of this family anymore." The words echoed through the church speakers. Not part of this family anymore. My own twin. The woman I shared a womb with. I felt my throat close up. My hands started shaking. The bridesmaids stared at me like I was something dirty. In the second row, my mom looked down at her lap. My dad didn't move. No one defended me. Jason pointed toward the doors. "Security," he said calmly. 2 ushers stepped forward. The humiliation burned like fire on my skin. If you've ever felt that kind of public shame, that kind of betrayal, then you know how it feels when your chest goes numb and your ears start ringing. I took 1 step back. Then another. My heels clicked loudly against the marble floor as I turned. But before I reached the aisle, I looked back at Olivia. "Is this what you want?" I asked her. She swallowed. And then she nodded. That nod broke something inside me. I walked down the aisle alone while 200 guests watched. And as I reached the church doors, I stopped. Because in that exact moment, my phone buzzed in my hand. And what I saw on the screen changed everything. But before I tell you what it was, I need you to stay with me. Because what happened in the next 5 minutes destroyed that wedding. If you believe family should never treat you like trash, like this story, and don't go anywhere. And if you've ever been the other twin, the forgotten one, subscribe. Because this is where it begins. Olivia and I were born on March 14, 1998, in Plano, Texas. 2 minutes apart. She was first. I was second. And somehow, that 2 minutes decided our whole lives. Olivia was sunshine. Blonde curls. Perfect smile. Cheer captain at Plano East Senior High School. Straight A's. Teachers adored her. I was the quiet one. Brown hair. Glasses. Loved books more than parties. But when we were little, none of that mattered. We shared a room with glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. We whispered secrets under the blankets. We promised each other that no boy, no job, no distance would ever come between us. "Twins forever," Olivia would say. "Forever," I'd answer. Growing up, our parents compared us without meaning to. "Why can't you be more outgoing like Olivia?" My mom would ask me. "Why can't you relax like Emily?" she'd ask Olivia. But still, we stayed close. Until college. Olivia went to the University of Texas at Austin to study marketing. I stayed home and attended Collin College, then transferred to University of North Texas for accounting. She joined a sorority. I worked 2 part-time jobs. And that's where Jason came in. She met him at a football tailgate. He was tall, polished, loud. From a wealthy family in Highland Park. The first time Olivia brought him home, he shook my dad's hand firmly. But when he looked at me, there was something cold in his eyes. Like he had already decided something about me. Over time, little things started happening. Family dinners where I wasn't told the time changed. Vacation plans where my room accidentally wasn't booked. Olivia stopped calling me every day. Then every week. Then only when she needed something. Jason didn't like that I worked in finance. He made jokes about me being the boring twin. Once at Thanksgiving, he laughed and said, "Every family has the extra one." Everyone chuckled. Except me. Olivia didn't defend me. That hurt more than his words. Still, I showed up. For birthdays. For holidays. For engagement parties. When Jason proposed at White Rock Lake, Olivia called me crying happy tears. "I can't imagine doing this without you," she said. And I believed her. I helped plan her bridal shower. I addressed invitations. I even helped her choose her wedding dress at a boutique in downtown Dallas. She hugged me in the fitting room. "I need you there," she whispered. "So tell me, how did I go from I need you to you're not part of this family anymore?" 3 weeks before the wedding, something strange happened. I received an email from an anonymous address. No subject line, just one attachment. I almost deleted it, but something in my gut told me to open it. Inside were screenshots, bank transfers, wire confirmations, large amounts of money moving from an account under Olivia's name into a shell company I had never heard of. The company was linked to Jason. At first, I thought it was normal business, until I saw the dates. The transfers began right after their engagement. And the amounts? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Olivia had a trust fund our grandparents left her. I didn't. But I never cared, until I saw that money disappearing. I drove to her apartment in uptown Dallas that night. She wouldn't let me inside. "Jason handles our investments," she said. "Liv, something's wrong," I told her. "These accounts don't look real." She got angry. "You're jealous." Jealous? Of what? Of my life. Of Jason. Of everything. That was the first time she said it, and it cut deep. After that, she stopped answering my calls. Then came the wedding rehearsal dinner. Jason barely looked at me. His mom whispered something to him while staring at me. And then this morning, the wedding, the humiliation, the microphone, the nod. And now, standing outside the church doors, my phone buzzing in my hand. It was another email. Same anonymous sender. But this time, it wasn't just bank transfers. It was a video. A video of Jason, in a hotel room, with another woman. Timestamped 2 nights ago. 2 nights before his wedding. My hands started shaking. I looked through the glass doors of the church. The ceremony hadn't started yet. The pastor was flipping pages. Guests were whispering. And Olivia was standing at the altar, smiling at the man who was stealing from her. And cheating on her. Jason thought he had removed me, silenced me, erased me. But he forgot something. I might be the quiet twin, but I see everything. And I don't run from the truth. I turned around, pushed the church doors open, and walked back down that aisle. Gasps filled the room. Jason's face tightened. "I told you to leave," he said into the mic. I didn't answer him. I walked straight up to the altar, and I held up my phone. "Before this wedding continues," I said, my voice shaking but loud, "Olivia deserves to see something." Jason lunged forward, but it was too late, because I had already pressed play, and the first image filled the giant projection screen behind the altar. The entire church saw it. Olivia's smile disappeared. Her bouquet fell to the floor, and someone screamed. Jason shouted my name, but the video kept playing. And in that moment, the wedding coordinator rushed toward the stage, shouting into her headset. The pastor stepped back. Jason's father stood up, furious. And Olivia turned to Jason with a look I had never seen before. 5 minutes later, the wedding was officially canceled. And then, police sirens echoed outside the church. And 2 officers walked through the front doors, looking straight at me. "Emily Carter?" one of them asked. "Yes," I whispered. "You need to come with us." And as handcuffs clicked around my wrists in front of 200 stunned guests, I realized something. Jason wasn't done. And this nightmare? It was just beginning. The cold metal around my wrists didn't feel real. I kept thinking it was a mistake. Like someone would yell, "Cut!" and the cameras would stop rolling. But this wasn't a movie. This was my twin sister's wedding at St. Matthew's Church in Dallas, Texas. And I was being walked down the aisle in handcuffs. Guests moved out of the way like I was dangerous. Like I was something ugly they didn't want to touch. Olivia stood frozen at the altar, her white dress glowing under the church lights. She didn't move toward me. She didn't say my name. Jason stood beside her, holding her elbow like he was protecting her. protecting her from me. Ma'am, please watch your step, the officer said calmly. I looked at him. Why am I being arrested? I asked. You're being detained for unlawful distribution of private material and harassment, he replied. Harassment? My head spun. That video is real. I said. It's proof. You can explain everything downtown, he cut in. Jason met my eyes as I passed him. And he smiled. It wasn't a big smile. Just a small one. But it told me everything. This was planned. Outside, the Texas sun felt too bright. The flashing red and blue lights reflected off the church windows. Someone from the crowd was recording on their phone. I could already imagine the headlines. Jealous twin ruins wedding. Bridesmaid arrested after public meltdown. The officer guided me into the back of the squad car. As the door shut, I saw Olivia step outside. For a second, our eyes met. And I waited. I waited for her to run toward me. To ask if I was okay. To demand answers. Instead, she turned toward Jason. And he wrapped his arm around her shoulders. The car pulled away. That was the moment I understood something. I had just lost my sister. At Dallas County Jail, everything felt gray. The walls, the floors, even the air. They took my fingerprints, my photo, my shoelaces. Call your attorney, the desk officer said flatly. I don't have one, I whispered. I had never even gotten a parking ticket before. Now I was sitting in a holding cell on the same day my sister was supposed to say I do. I kept replaying the video in my head. Jason in that hotel room, laughing, kissing another woman, bragging about locking down the trust fund. He had said those words clearly. Locking down the trust fund. That wasn't just cheating. That was a plan. And somehow he had turned this into me being the criminal. After 2 hours, my phone call was approved. I called my dad. It rang 3 times. Hello, he answered. Dad, I said, my voice breaking. I'm at Dallas County Jail. Silence. Then, Emily, what did you do? Not are you okay? Not what happened. What did you do? I exposed Jason, I said. He's stealing from Olivia. He cheated on her. My dad sighed. Jason's father is threatening to sue. They said you hacked private accounts and created fake videos. Fake? It's not fake, I said. Emily, he said gently, why couldn't you just let her be happy? That hurt more than the handcuffs. I was protecting her. You embarrassed her. The line went quiet. I can't help you right now, he said finally. We need to think about Olivia. And then he hung up. I stared at the phone in my hand. I had never felt so alone. Late that evening, a woman in a navy suit arrived. Emily Carter? She asked. Yes. I'm Rebecca Lawson. A friend asked me to come. A friend? I repeated. She nodded. Anonymous. My heart skipped. Anonymous. The same person who sent the emails? Rebecca sat across from me. The Millers filed a complaint this morning, she said. They claim you illegally accessed financial records and distributed an intimate video without consent. I didn't hack anything, I said. Someone sent it to me. Do you know who? No. She studied me carefully. Do you have the original emails? Yes. Good. Don't delete anything. She leaned closer. Emily, this isn't just about a wedding video. The Millers are powerful in Dallas. Jason's father sits on the board of multiple companies. If they push this, they could make your life very difficult. I swallowed. I don't care about me, I said. He's draining Olivia's trust fund. Rebecca's eyes sharpened. Trust fund. I told her everything. The transfers. The shell company. The engagement timing. She didn't interrupt. When I finished, she tapped her pen against her notebook. If what you're saying is true, she said slowly, this could be financial fraud. So, I'm not crazy? No, she said firmly. But proving it will be hard. She stood up. I'll work on getting you released tonight. But you need to prepare yourself. For what? For the possibility that your sister may testify against you. The words hit like ice water. She wouldn't, I whispered. Rebecca didn't answer. Around midnight, I was released on bail. When I stepped outside the jail, the air felt heavy. Rebecca handed me my belongings. Stay quiet, she said. Don't post anything. Don't contact them. Let me investigate. Who paid you? I asked again. She gave a small smile. Let's just say someone wants the truth out. And then she walked away. I stood alone in the parking lot. My phone buzzed. A message from Olivia. Just 3 words. Stay away from us.
Us.
Not me and her.
Us.
Her and Jason. I felt something inside me shift. Not anger. Not yet. Just a deep, aching sadness. I drove home to my small apartment near Deep Ellum. The silence inside was loud. I kicked off my shoes and sat on the floor. Memories of childhood flooded back. Glow-in-the-dark stars. Whispered promises. Twins forever. Tears rolled down my face. I didn't ruin her wedding. I saved her from a lie. But she couldn't see it. Or maybe she didn't want to. At 2:17 a.m., another email came in. Same anonymous sender. My heart pounded as I opened it. This time it wasn't just screenshots. It was a full folder. Bank statements. Signed documents. A prenuptial agreement draft. And one file labeled, Transfer after marriage, final phase. I opened it. Inside was a contract. Once married, Jason would gain co-management authority over Olivia's remaining trust assets. And buried in the fine print was something terrifying. If Olivia attempted to divorce within the first year, she would forfeit 70% of her liquid assets due to a breach of financial trust clause. It was a trap. The wedding wasn't about love.
It was about control.
And then I saw the final attachment. A scanned police report.
Filed earlier that day.
By Jason. Accusing me of stalking. And identity theft. With a request for a temporary restraining order. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just damage control. This was war.
My phone rang.
Unknown number. I answered. A calm male voice spoke. You should have walked away when he told you to leave. Who is this? I demanded. Jason is protected, the voice said. You are not. The line went dead. I stared at the dark screen. My heart racing. Then, a loud knock echoed through my apartment door. Not polite. Not gentle. 3 hard pounds. Emily Carter, a voice shouted from outside. I walked slowly toward the door. Who is it? I asked. Dallas Police Department. Open up. My blood ran cold. I hadn't even had time to breathe. To think. To process. I opened the door. 2 officers stood there. One held a folder. Ms. Carter, he said, you've been served with a temporary restraining order. My chest tightened. There's more, he added. He handed me the papers. And at the top, in bold letters, I read, Petition for felony charges, financial cybercrime.
Filed by
Jason Miller. And listed as supporting witness. Olivia Carter. My twin sister. The officer looked at me carefully. You need to come down to the station again. And as the neighbors peeked through their doors, as my name echoed down the hallway, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just about canceling a wedding anymore. They were trying to send me to prison. They were trying to send me to prison. That thought wouldn't leave my head as the police car pulled away from my apartment near Deep Ellum in Dallas, Texas. The red and blue lights flashed against the windows of the buildings. My neighbors stood outside whispering. I kept my head down, not because I was guilty, but because I felt small. I had never felt that small before. At the station, they didn't handcuff me this time, but that almost made it worse. It felt calmer, more official, like this wasn't chaos anymore.
It was paperwork. Processing.
A system moving forward, without caring if I survived it. The officer sat me down in a gray room. Felony cybercrime is serious, he said. If the court accepts the petition, you could be facing years.
Years.
I swallowed. I didn't hack anything, I said again. Someone sent me the files. Do you know who?
No.
He nodded slowly. That makes it harder.
Of course it did.
An hour later, Rebecca Lawson walked in.
Come.
Sharp. Focused. I need 5 minutes alone with my client, she said firmly. The officer left. Rebecca turned to me. Listen carefully, she said. They're pushing fast. Too fast. What does that mean? It means someone with influence wants this sealed before questions start getting asked. Like Jason's father? She didn't answer directly, but her silence said yes. They're claiming you access private financial systems, she continued. They're presenting printed logs. That's impossible. I don't even know how to hack. I know. She leaned closer. But here's the problem. The complaint includes a sworn statement from Olivia. The words felt heavier this time. What did she say? I whispered. Rebecca hesitated. She stated you've been obsessed with her finances for months, that you've shown jealousy, and that you threatened to destroy her wedding. My throat closed. I never. I believe you, Rebecca said quickly. But right now, it's your word against hers. I stared at the metal table. My twin sister had signed a document painting me as unstable, jealous, dangerous. For a second, I wanted to break,
To cry.
to scream. But instead, something else happened. Something quiet. Something cold. A shift. If she was willing to go this far to protect him, then she didn't know the full truth yet. And that meant Jason was still lying to her. Rebecca slid a folder toward me. I started looking into the shell company you mentioned.
My heart jumped.
And it exists. Registered in Nevada. No employees. No physical office. So it's fake. It's designed to move money quietly. Hope flickered inside me.
Small.
But real. If we can prove he manipulated the trust funds, she said, this case changes.
How?
It becomes motive. For framing me? Yes. I looked up at her. Can we prove it? She paused. Maybe. That word hung in the air. Maybe. Not yes. Not no. Maybe. By morning, I was released again, pending investigation. But the damage was growing. Local news had picked up the wedding incident. Bride's twin arrested after disrupting ceremony. They didn't mention the fraud. They didn't mention the cheating. Only that I caused emotional distress. Jason had already given a short statement outside his family home in Highland Park, Texas. I saw the clip online.
He looked sad.
Controlled. We just want privacy, he said. This has been very hard on Olivia. He even wiped a fake tear. The comments under the video were brutal. She's jealous. She wanted attention. She ruined her sister's big day. I closed my phone. This is how narratives are built.
Fast. Loud.
And without the truth. 3 days passed. No contact from my parents. No contact from Olivia. Just silence. Then Rebecca called. Meet me at my office. Now. Her tone was different. Urgent. When I arrived, she locked the door behind me.
We found something, she said.
She turned her laptop toward me. On the screen was a timeline. Bank transfers.
Dates.
Video timestamps. And something new. Hotel records. The woman in the video? Rebecca said. Her name is Vanessa Cole. She works as a consultant for the same shell company receiving Olivia's funds. My stomach twisted. It gets worse, she continued. She clicked another file. An internal email from Jason to Vanessa. Subject line. After the wedding. The message read, once the marriage license is filed in Dallas County, Phase 2 begins. Make sure Emily is handled. The restraining order should keep her quiet. Handled. My hands started shaking. He planned this, I whispered. Yes. Before the wedding. Yes. And Olivia? She may not know. I leaned back in the chair. For the first time, anger replaced the sadness. He didn't just cheat. He didn't just steal. He built a trap around my sister. And when I stepped in front of it,
He tried to bury me.
Rebecca looked at me carefully. We can take this to the authorities. But if we do, it becomes public. Very public. It's already public, I said. Not like this. She wasn't wrong. If this exploded, it would destroy more than a wedding. It would destroy reputations, families, careers. Do it, I said. She studied me. You're sure? Yes. Because this wasn't revenge.
Not yet.
This was protection. That evening, we met with a financial crimes investigator from the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. He listened quietly, asked sharp questions, took copies of everything. If these documents are authentic, he said, this could qualify as wire fraud and conspiracy. My pulse quickened. Conspiracy. Jason wasn't just careless. He was coordinated. But then the investigator said something that froze the room. There's one complication. Rebecca stiffened. What? The trust account requires dual acknowledgement for certain transfers. I blinked. What does that mean? It means Olivia would have had to approve at least some of these movements. The air felt heavy again. No, I said immediately. She wouldn't knowingly sign that. Maybe she didn't read carefully, he said. Or, Rebecca added slowly, she trusted him. The investigator nodded. If we move forward, she will be questioned. I swallowed.
Questioned.
Interrogated. Possibly charged. My sister. The same girl who used to braid my hair before school. The same girl who once punched a boy for teasing me in 3rd grade. Love and anger twisted inside my chest. I don't want her hurt, I said quietly. Then convince her to cooperate, the investigator replied. I can't contact her. There's a restraining order. He sighed. Then this gets messy. That night, I went home exhausted, emotionally drained, but determined. For the first time since the wedding, I felt like I wasn't drowning. There was proof. There was structure.
There was a path.
At 11:42 p.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Emily, a soft voice whispered. My heart stopped. Olivia? She was crying. I didn't know, she said. I swear I didn't know. Tears filled my eyes instantly. Liv. He told me you faked everything. He said you've hated me for years. I never hated you. I saw the email tonight, she whispered. The one you showed at the wedding. I checked the account myself. Silence. Then, there's money missing. My breath left my body. Liv, listen to me carefully, I said. You need to leave him. It's not that simple, she replied. Why? There was a long pause. So long I thought the call dropped. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. I already signed the post-marriage transfer documents. My knees gave out, and I sat down hard on the floor. What do you mean? I signed them yesterday morning, before the ceremony. My vision blurred. That means he has control, I whispered. Yes. And if I try to cancel anything, the penalty clause activates. The trap. It was already closed. Olivia, I said urgently. We're building a case. The district attorney is reviewing everything. She inhaled sharply. Emily, Jason knows. My heart slammed against my ribs. Knows what? He knows you went to the DA.
How?
I don't know, she cried. But he came home furious tonight. He said you crossed the line. The sound of a door slamming echoed faintly through the phone. Olivia gasped. He's here, she whispered. Put me on speaker, a male voice said in the background. My stomach dropped. Jason. Liv, don't, I said quickly. But it was too late. The line shifted. Then his voice came through clearly. Emily, he said calmly, you really don't know when to stop. Get away from her, I snapped. He laughed softly. You think you're saving her. That's adorable. What do you want? I want you to understand something, he said. You're outmatched. I heard Olivia crying behind him. If you don't withdraw your statements tomorrow, he continued, I promise the felony charges will be the least of your problems. You threatened me already, I said. This isn't a threat, he replied smoothly. It's a guarantee. Then, the call cut off. I stared at the silent phone, my hands trembling, not from fear anymore, from certainty. He wasn't bluffing. He was escalating. And this time, it wasn't just about money. Because 5 minutes later, my apartment lights went out. Total darkness. And, outside my window, I saw headlights. Not moving. Just watching. And my phone buzzed again. A text message. From Jason. It was a photo. Taken seconds ago.
Of me.
standing inside my dark apartment, with the caption, "Stay out of this, or next time, it won't be just the lights." The photo he sent me was clear. Too clear. It showed me standing in my living room frozen, my phone glowing in my hand, which meant one thing. He wasn't guessing. He was watching. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. Outside my window, the headlights were still there, not moving, just sitting, like a predator waiting for the right second. My first instinct was fear. But fear is loud, and loud people make mistakes. So instead I turned very slowly and smiled. Because Jason had just done something incredibly stupid. He crossed from fraud into intimidation. And intimidation leaves proof. I immediately screenshotted the text, forwarded it to Rebecca, then to the financial crimes investigator at the Dallas County District Attorney's office. And then I did one more thing. I turned on every single light in my apartment, pulled my curtains wide open, and held my phone up toward the window like I was taking a picture back. The headlights shut off instantly. The car drove away. Coward. My phone rang seconds later. "Rebecca, did you just receive a threat?" she asked. "Yes." "Good," she said calmly. "Good?" He just handed us probable cause. By 7:30 the next morning, I was sitting inside the district attorney's office in downtown Dallas. The investigator replayed the voicemail, zoomed in on the photo, traced the metadata. The image had been taken from across the street, from inside a black SUV registered to Jason Miller. And that wasn't all. The anonymous email sender? They finally traced it. It wasn't some hacker. It was Vanessa Cole, the consultant, the woman from the hotel video. Turns out, she wasn't just his affair partner. She was his partner in the fraud. And she had cracked. After the wedding cancellation, Jason panicked. He started cutting her out of the money flow. She didn't like that. So, she sent me everything. Not because she cared about me, but because she wanted leverage. And now, the DA had enough to subpoena bank records, phone records, vehicle tracking data. Jason thought his family name in Highland Park, Texas, made him untouchable. He forgot something. Digital footprints don't care how rich you are. 2 days later, everything exploded. Federal agents walked into his office. Not local police. Federal. Wire fraud. Financial conspiracy. Witness intimidation. And when they searched his home, they found draft contracts, asset seizure plans, and a folder labeled, "Emily, Containment Strategy." Containment. Like I was a problem to manage. They arrested him at 3:42 p.m. right outside his father's company building. Cameras everywhere. The same news stations that called me jealous? Now they ran a different headline. Dallas Groom arrested in trust fund fraud scheme. I didn't celebrate. Not yet. Because there was one more person I needed to face. Olivia. She asked to meet at White Rock Lake. The same place he proposed to her. The same place she once told me she felt happiest. When I saw her, she looked smaller, like the shine had been washed off. "I'm sorry," she said before I could speak. I didn't rush to hug her. I needed to hear it. "For signing the statement," she continued. "For believing him. For not protecting you." Tears filled her eyes. "I thought you were trying to ruin my happiness." "I was trying to save you," I said softly. She nodded. "I know that now." The wind moved gently across the water. For a moment, it felt like we were 10 years old again. Two sisters against the world. "I revoked the transfer authority," she said. "The bank froze everything once the investigation started." "Good." "Emily," she whispered, "he told me marrying me would make him unstoppable." I felt anger flicker. "He almost succeeded," I said. "But you didn't let him," she replied. That was the first time she looked at me with something I hadn't seen in years. Respect. Not pity. Not comparison. Respect. 3 months later, the case went to court at the George L. Allen Senior Courts building in Dallas. Vanessa testified. The financial trail was airtight. The intimidation message sealed it. Jason tried to claim I fabricated everything. But when the prosecution played the video of him saying locking down the trust fund, The courtroom went silent. The same silence as the wedding. Except this time, it wasn't shame surrounding me. It was truth surrounding him. The judge denied bail. He was sentenced to federal prison. 5 years. Asset forfeiture. Restitution. His father's reputation crumbled. Board positions disappeared. And that big, polished smile he wore so confidently at the altar?
Gone.
As for me, the felony charges against me were dropped.
Publicly.
The DA even issued a statement clearing my name. The same people who called me jealous started commenting. She was right all along. Funny how quickly public opinion shifts. But here's what mattered most. Olivia and I moved into a small office together 6 months later. We started a financial consulting firm in Dallas, helping women understand their assets, protect their money, read every line before they sign. We called it Twin Guard Financial. Because no one should ever feel alone at the altar or in a contract. And sometimes, the quiet twin isn't the weak one. She's the one watching, waiting, and when pushed, she's the one who ends everything. If you felt that humiliation in the church, if your heart pounded when those handcuffs clicked, if you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, told to leave, remember this. Sometimes the moment they try to erase you is the moment you expose everything. If this story moved you, shook you, or reminded you of your own strength, like it, share it, and subscribe. Because the next time someone says, "Get out," it might just be the beginning of their downfall.